Hello world, it is me again. I'm at this beautiful little rustic cafe. It's pretty nice. I can hear the birds and traffic and people, and it's kind of cool. But I realized I've been talking a lot about the Kaleidoscope method, and today I read something very interesting, and it is, no shift happens, or it's along the lines of like dramatic change happens in small shifts. So personality wise, or trauma healing, or shift in life paths and careers, it all happens in small increments, and the patterns keep changing over and over again. So it's very much in line with the kaleidoscope shifting. And so I realized, yeah, I kind of overdosed on this, and I keep talking about it each day and finding ways to connect it. But there's also a lot of other cool stuff I want to talk about, because I've been getting some great responses from you guys. I really appreciate you guys. Even on Instagram and everywhere else, I've been putting out some shorts as well. So yeah. So today I wanted to kind of touch upon something pretty cool that I got reminded of, and it's also part of something I'm working on. But it's this whole new, not maybe not so new anymore, but this whole idea of becoming the main character, right? Or being the main character. My Buddhist mentor, my Buddhist mentor, Daisaku Ikeda, said, "Be the protagonist in your own life," and it's kind of in line with this. And if you think about Shakespeare, who said, "All the life's but a stage, and we're all but actors, right? Or players." But it's all kind of like in the same vein, right? It's all the same sentiment. And a part of one of the things I'm developing is very much to do with this, because a big part of my healing journey was recognizing that my legacy and my story is mine to tell. It's mine to build, and it's mine to live. Sorry about the sound. In a way that I choose to. I don't know if you guys have watched this incredible movie that came out in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. It's called Big Fish. It's a great story about something like this too. A man telling his own story in the most grandeur way possible. But for years I actually downplayed my story a lot, because of my own self-confidence issues, because of a lot of other things. I kind of downplayed, who I was, what I was skilled at, where I've lived, and things like that. Um, I was embarrassed of just who I was for a very long time, and forget a spiritual level of alignment or self-love or whatever. But honestly, like, if you're embarrassed about who you are and where you're from, then there's a lot more to deal with. And for me personally, journaling has helped really reimagine my life in many ways. Also, I use the tools, AI tools that I use to to kind of help me get new perspectives. I use different things. Sometimes I use visual cues, symbols, cards. Sometimes I use you know podcasts, YouTube videos. I don't know. So there's just different ways I try to rephrase and reframe myself from situations that don't help me feel good about myself or about what's going on. And I think it's very important. When my whole situation started almost 9 months ago, I didn't know my marriage was gonna definitely end at that point. But when I did kind of start feeling this question, I actually went back to my books, and I found this wonderful book by this great person, David Meltzer. He is a pretty big, sports business person, makes a lot of money, sports entertainment, world of things. And anyway, so I got to meet him shooting a podcast right before I got married, I think. And he signed this copy of a book and gave it to me, and I believe he still gives them away for free, and they're awesome. But you should get your hands on it if you can. He's not sponsoring me or anything. I just feel like it's a great tool that's helped me. So if you want to learn ethical becoming rich, I guess. I don't know, but anyway, it's not just about becoming rich. It's about how he, it's his life story, but how he connects business with family and sentiments and core philosophies that he built in his life. And there's some very very great things that I learned out of that book. But one of the things, the whole book is called Connected to Goodness. If you want to look it up, I can try to put the link down if I can find it. And I think he hands free copies out. Again, not sponsored, just feel very grateful that I got to read that book when I did. Maybe it can help someone else. But, in the book, he talks about how we're all connected to goodness. Or, if you're spiritual, you could look at it as source or spirit or Buddha or God or whatever else that you believe in. If you're very scientific, you could say it is the quantum field. But ultimately, it is cause and effect, right? It is all, they're all connected to some sort of source of some kind. And I like to usually use the AI as a great example for this, because I think we're all like GPTs and Claudes and Geminis and whatever else. Some of us maybe are DALL-Es making images, and but we're all still connected back to like the super core computer motherboard chip thing somewhere. And all the information we're all getting is going back there, and similarly, all the information that's there is coming to all of us. So it's a beautiful two-way street between us and whatever higher source of consciousness exists beyond our realm. And I don't know, I honestly think everyone should at least acknowledge that there is something bigger than us. You can believe in aliens, you can believe in gods, you can believe in the Godhead, you can believe in the universe, but I personally feel it helps to anchor ourselves under that knowing, the knowing that there is something bigger, but at the same time we are all part of that bigger whole. The bigger is within and without. The way the tradition had this beautiful concept of Brahman and Atman, Brahman being the creator or the source, and Atman being the soul, the experience of the human soul, or Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in Buddhism, the Buddha being the Godhead, and Bodhisattvas being, embodiments of the Buddha in human form. There's a lot of cool concepts, gods and demigods in the Greeks, and going off topic here, but maybe not, because who says my story can be the same as Hercules, or the Greek demigod, or I don't know if you guys have seen this wonderful movie. I think in the late '90s. I was still young. It's called Prince of Egypt. I hope this sounds good, but Prince of Egypt. It was an animated movie. I can't remember if it was Disney or someone else, but the story of Moses parting the Red Sea, and man, it's just very cool narratives right behind all of it. And Jesus Christ, the greatest, most famous man probably in history, wouldn't be famous if he wasn't made immortal by the stories that were told about him, if you really think about it. Because the Old Testament itself doesn't make him as much of a god as the people did. But, that's a lot I can go down. But no, not to offend anyone. I hope I don't offend anyone with any of these talks. This is just me ranting a little bit. But going back to the very core of being a main character, I hope you can take inspiration from these little things I talked about and understand that back to the book, Connected to Goodness, what the Metta says in that book, he says, take care of yourself and everything else will get taken care of. So he compares it to when his wife has problems or his kids have problems. Really the best thing he can do is focus on taking care of himself, and it will ripple effect into their own lives. I'm not saying ignore everyone else, but I'm saying when you start to focus on you and you start to take care of yourself and you start to love and cherish and listen to yourself the way you do others first, people around you will feel it. They will feel that energy, they will feel that joy, they will feel that love, they will feel that happiness, and they will feel it. And no matter how much comes at you, you know you can deal with it, you know? And trust me, it's not easy. There's gonna be people who are gonna piss you off. There's gonna be people who throw you off your game. There's gonna be days that don't match the frequency vibration that you want to be at. It's all part of the game. But if you actively focus on taking care of yourself and you understand that that directly results in taking care of other people, then your approach towards other people changes. And actually, honestly, my opinion, taking care of myself first has taught me how to take care of other people better, or how to treat people better, how to talk to people better, how to listen to people better, because I've started doing all that with myself first. And a lot of us, I guess, don't tend to do that. And I'm not meaning to generalize here, but I've spoken to a lot of my friends who seem to share a similar sentiment, where society has kind of told us not to listen to ourselves and not to follow our own path and not to do what we think is right, you know. And somehow, when we have problems, everyone thinks they've got the answer. Everyone thinks they can be our guide. Everyone thinks they know what's best for us. And we do that in return to the next person, you know. But the only way to really change that and to be at peace with ourselves and to be at peace with everyone around us is to accept that we're all uniquely us and we're all fine and whole and complete just the way we are, and whatever we do, however we look, whoever we love, we're fine and we love ourselves. And when we do that, it's hard to not recognize the same thing in the other people. So anyway, that was just a lot of ranting. I hope I hope again I didn't offend anyone. I hope everyone got what they came here for, or something to take home with them today. But remember, you are the main character of your story, and if it helps, to run your YouTube or to Instagram or TikTok or whatever else that you are comfortable, even LinkedIn and Facebook and whatever else, use these modes of expression as a chance to be your own main character. Try to be the person that you want to be when you look at the mirror, and mirror yourself to these cameras, to these posts, to these words. There's never been a better time to express yourself and rewrite your story for yourself in your own terms, and I highly encourage everyone does that. It's therapeutic, it's beautiful, and it celebrates a life of creativity, joy, and unity, in my opinion. Anyway, with that, I'm probably gotta head out soon, so I'm gonna stop. I don't know how long. This might be a longer video today, but thank you guys. I really, really, really appreciate all the support and love that I've been getting. I thank you, and I love and appreciate you guys. And please stay creative, stay humble. You can sign up for the Creator Kaleidoscope link below. I will start linking a bunch of other stuff. The book that I talked about is going to be there as well. I really want to start offering as many resources and tools as I can, even if they're not my own. And I know I've been saying it for a while, so I'm just going to start doing it. And I hope you guys take something out of all of this, and that I get to hear from you in the comments, or you can send me emails. You can reach out to me and or share this with your friends, or whatever you think is best, or whatever you feel aligned to do. Anyway, I love you and appreciate all you guys. Thank you. Stay creative, stay happy, and stay kind. I will see you again tomorrow.